Thank you. We're here on the downtown east side of Vancouver at the 33rd Annual March for the Murdered or Missing Indigenous Women and Girls. Joining me today is Angela Marie McDougall. Angela, you are the Executive Director of the Battered Women Support Services, but you've also been involved with this for a very long time. Tell me how this march began.
This march began with the brutal killing of Cheryl Anjou in 1992 as a way to honor her memory and to make visible her killing and a way for families to grieve.
Since her killing, and obviously before as well, there's been many women that have been killed down here and are still continued to be missing. You knew many of those women. Can you tell me about a few of them?
Well, one of the things that we started to see after the killing of Cheryl Anjou was an increase in missing and murdered women here from this neighborhood, and the disappearances, and women were killed. And so we know that there were at least 3 serial killers that were operating in this neighborhood through the 1990s, and that one of them we know has got a bit more attention, but there were at least three serial killers at the time. So the march has been a really important way to make visible, but also to mourn and to seek justice, and it's been a vital way for community to organize.
We've covered this march now many times. I know that along the route that they're about to do, they stop and honor the women at certain places where their bodies were found or where they went missing from. It's such a touching moment. We've got hundreds or actually thousands of people joining us today that are in the march. Family members, advocates, community supporters. What do you want to say to the public about how important it is to know about this issue?
Well, it's so important, and particularly because we know that Indigenous women have been leading this effort for years and making visible the disappearances and the killings. And so the honoring of the memories and the spirits of women who have passed and to recognize those that are missing has been so important. It's a way to heal. It's also a way for families to speak out. And it's been a galvanizing march, one of the unique organizing efforts that probably is unique around the world. I don't think there's anything like it that's lasted for 33 years to draw attention to such a huge social issue. And we continue to seek justice.
February the 22nd, serial killer Robert Pickton is up for parole. Many of the family members and community supporters never thought that day would come, but we're literally a week away from there. What do you think of the fact that Robert Pickton has a chance at parole after all this time?
It's appalling. Can you imagine, actually, that how the trauma that family members and the community is experiencing, knowing that this is a possibility? But it really tells us the limitations, doesn't it, of the Canadian legal system, that this could actually be a fact. That this man that's killed so many women and who has done so much harm to families and to this community could actually have a time to seek freedom is just appalling. But really, it is the limitation of the Canadian legal system that we would even be in this situation.
Speaking of the justice system, the RCMP have moved to destroy the evidence found and collected during the investigation. That next hearing is actually scheduled for February the 23rd, the day after his parole hearing. What are your thoughts on that?
It's all just a major insult. It's an insult to the process initially, to all of the work that families have done, to the victims. It's a betrayal. It's devastating in so many ways. But again, it tells us clearly what the limitations are with policing, with the criminal legal system, in attempting to deal with this very serious social issue that's been with us through the very making of Canada as a nation.
Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with so many of those family members out there still seeking answers, still seeking justice for their loved ones. And thank you so much for all the work that you do on the front lines. We really appreciate you joining us today. Thank you. Back to you in studio.